Hi there, everybody. This is Stephen from Astrology. I was just going live right now to talk about the moon as it travels through our sky. Today we can see the moon over here is in Cancer, and the moon is actually at home in the sign of Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the heart, of our emotions, of our feelings, and the sort of emotional connection that we feel towards others. And it relates a lot to the mother for those reasons, or our moms. It shows our ability to connect with other people in general, so it's the primary indicator of partnerships, actually, believe it or not, because you're trying to merge with another person anytime you're trying to really get into close emotional contact with another person. It's more of a moon issue. So when the moon's in Cancer, its own sign, Cancer is a cardinal water sign, so it's about kind of taking new actions, starting new endeavors, and in the realm of water, which is the emotions or feelings, as we can see through the moon being the kind of planet of that. Um, Now, when the moon's in Cancer, there's different vibes to it. We've just come out of the more compassionate, gentle, nurturing side of Cancer, and we're moving into Ashlesha. Ashlesha is an nakshatra, or one of the 27 Indian constellations, that shows a, a very kind of entrenched emotional energy, an energy that's all about entwining. And that's because Ashlesha literally translates to the entwiner. It is ruled by or connected with the deities called the Nagas, which are kind of the divine serpents. Um, they're not necessarily friendly with the actual devas, though, the higher gods, or the kind of light gods. And because the Nagas are about kind of getting deep into our intellect and our sense of cunning and survival skills, kind of like snakes have this primordial energy to them, where they're just so simple. They're some of the first land animals, of course, and so they have this pure focus and attention and survival instincts and intuition, so that these kind of energies can be heightened on a day like today and tomorrow, depending on where you are. Maybe today in Australia, and this evening and tomorrow morning in the West. And so when the moon comes into Ashlesha, we can cling a little bit more to other people in our lives or to situations. It can cause us to get a little bit more venomous. It's a really interesting part of the sky. If you've ever heard of Hydra from Greek mythology, I'm going to try and switch up this screen, see if it works. This might be a little tricky for me, but we shall see. I'm going to try and show you a picture of Hydra in the sky, and in constellation form, and then a picture of Hercules fighting Hydra from Greek mythology. So let's see if I can do this. Alright. So I think I got that. And then I'm going to do that. And move this up here. There we go. So you can see that Hydra is this really long snake-like constellation, just a series of stars in a line, bright stars. It spreads the entire width of Virgo, or most of Virgo, as well as Leo, all of Leo, and into Cancer. And this being in the end of Cancer, Hydra, or Ashlesha, is actually the head of Hydra, as you can see the little circle at the top by um, that kind of arrow pointing up, or the upside down Y. Let me show you a different picture of this, just so you can get a different perspective as well. And bear with me while I do this. I've never done this before. It's kind of fun, but let's see. There we go. So here's another one that's a little more in depth, and that's not where the moon is in the sky. It's not in Virgo. It's actually to the right of that, and if you can see Cancer is that kind of um, upside down Y next to Leo on the left and Gemini on the right. And Hydra is just below that. You can see that circle or that kind of rectangle of Hydra's head is the Ashleisha, or the head of the snake in a way. And then here's a picture of Hercules fighting Hydra. Now Hydra is that nine-headed, or it varies, but a multi-headed snake that, or a monster that Hercules had to fight off. And it kind of shows it's a monster that lived in deep waters and everything. And what this shows through Greek mythology and through, Vedic astrology, these similar kind of legends between the Nagas and Hydra, as the Nagas are these snake gods. And so they have this intense cunning and these abilities to really think intellectually on a high level in order to stay alive and survive and fight off any sort of attack. So, in a way, this kind of relates to Hydra in that Hercules had to cut off the heads, but then they would grow two back if he didn't cauterize the heads. So they ended up cauterizing each of the heads of the snake after Hercules cut it off, and then they were finally able to kill the last mortal snake. And so this kind of shows it's more of an allegory for our emotions, and when we're trying to work through our emotional issues, or when we're trying to maybe get what we want, we get entwined in the emotions of attachment. We kind of get our demons pop out, and we get very protective and surreptitious and sneaky about how we try and fulfill our desires, and we need to kill or cut off each of these desires, each of these um, difficult attachments that we just get a little too close to, by kind of evaluating them and letting them go, burning them up in our inner strength, our inner warrior, our inner Hercules. So that kind of relates to the energy of today. It's a good day to work on your Kundalini energy rising. It's represented by a coiled snake, which is the Kundalini coiled snake in the base of your spine. And through practices of energy, we can actually lift that that snake energy up the spine, uncoil the snake up the spine, and kind of have this moment of enlightenment, or some sort of connection to the spirit realm through intense focus and concentration. That's a big theme of today. It's something we can all work on. Now let me get back to me, or to the chart, so you can actually see again. And then I'm going to do this. And there we go. Perfect. So, so Moon and Ashleisha is really going to bring up these themes of protectiveness, of maybe like an overprotective mother type of energy, or a vindictive ex type of energy. So beware of the tendency to kind of unleash your venom or your poison today, especially if it's rooted in emotional uh, kind of energy or emotional gusto. Be very careful about getting a little too intense, a little too sharp, a little too pointy, and perhaps biting people's heads off, as if you're Hydra or something like that. Be more like Hercules and kill your inner Hydra, so that you can purify those emotions. That's the real essence of this nakshatra or asterism. It's part of the sky. It's all about the purification of our deep dark emotions, and using that intensity and that kind of the deep emotional attachment that we feel to our issues in order to evolve and transform, using them productively in our lives in whatever ways we see fit. And it's going to take place in a different part of everyone's chart, um, just depending on what your rising sign is. If you'd like to know where it is in your chart, you can feel free to book a reading, schedule an appointment with me. I have a little link in the top of my YouTube channel. If you like this forecast, hopefully you got a lot out of it. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Leave a comment too if you'd like. I'd be happy to get back to you. In the future, I'd like to get some interaction going in here, so if anyone's interested in a stream time in particular, just let me know. Otherwise, have a great day, and stay safe out there.